This guy has it, and so does this guy. And these guys have it too, sort of. It's the surname Smith, and we're going to find out more about it on this episode of NameRoots. It's the most common last name in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. And it's a testament to some of the most important members of European society going back more than 1,000 years. Smith is derived from the Old English word smeaton, which means to smite or to hit. That's also where we get the modern word smitten, like getting hit with love. I'm smitten with you. Before it was a name, Smith was a job title for someone who worked with metal. Think blacksmith, goldsmith, or silversmith. These guys would spend their days hammering out or smiting hot metal to make all kinds of tools and weapons that were critical to everyday life in medieval times. Smith is an occupational name, signifying the profession of an individual or their ancestors. In ancient times, people were often only referred to by a single name, like John. But as populations increased, so did the need to differentiate between people. You can imagine the confusion. Hey, have you seen John today? Which one, the smith or the farmer? So they began tacking secondary names onto their given names, and these often reflected what they did for work. Surnames, as we call them today, could also be derived from the person's father's name, Johnson, the area where they lived, York, Lincoln, Kent, or even physical characteristics, short, brown, white. But wait, you say, my name is Smith and I'm no metalworker, what gives? Well, as society became more complex and formalized, occupational names began to be inherited rather than given based on a person's actual occupation. Legal systems used names for taxation, property ownership, and contracts, and hereditary surnames made record-keeping simpler and more consistent. And trades themselves were often passed from father to son under feudalism, so this reinforced the association between the trade and the family identity. The rise of merchant and trade guilds in medieval Europe helped reinforce this connection even further. The earliest known use of Smith as a surname can be traced back to the Anglo-Saxon period in England, around the 8th and 9th centuries CE. There's a record of a man named Eckerd Smith of County Durham, northeast England from 975. And by the time of the Norman conquest in 1066, the surname was well established. First used in England, Smith spread to other parts of the British Isles, including Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. With British colonization and the migration of English-speaking people, the name became prevalent all around the world. So if you're a Caucasian American and your last name is Smith, then that means you're of Anglo-Saxon English descent, right? Well, not necessarily. In the 20th century in the United States, some German immigrants with the last name Schmidt opted to change their name to make it sound more Anglo-American, choosing Smith instead. Fortunately, the meaning stayed the same because Schmidt, translated to English, means, you guessed it, Smith. Now, the work of smithing wasn't just important in England and Germany. The Smith name also has equivalents in Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, French, and Italian. So while it may be pretty common, Smith is a name with a rich and important history. Today it is often used in books and film to represent an everyman, someone anybody can relate to. It is associated with skill, craftsmanship, simplicity, humility, and perseverance. Well, that's a bit about Smith. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time as we look to answer the age-old question, what's in a name?